I do want to just real quickly say thank you all and say welcome here at the War Memorial. What we're trying to build here is, well, what I'm calling a community response division. And it's really a cross-sector collaboration between organizations that are doing the incredible work that we need to help our most vulnerable people out in our community and try to navigate issues of displacement for our residents and our community at large. Last March, Elon Musk made a statement during an interview where he said, and I wrote it down here, the fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy. I think that's completely false. I believe empathy is our fundamental strength. Here in the city of Holyoke, and everyone I'm sure has heard me say this before, we're a compassionate city. We're a place that helps our residents first, second, third, fourth, sometimes fifth chances until you get it right. And compassion does have to work hand in hand with enforcement, and we're doing enforcement. We're doing the important work there, and Chief Keenan can tell you all about that. But also, we're doing a lot of work with our community organizations on compassion. We're trying to help our people navigate disparities that exist in our communities that don't really allow folks, for whatever reason that might exist, circumstances that they might be in, to progress and achieve to the extent that we know they're capable of and that's possible. And so we have here combined programs and services. You're going to hear from the sheriff, an introduction here, the AISS, as well as the chief, where our Ray Street team that you've heard of now moved into the space out of the Holyoke Police Department. And you're going to hear from Alicia, a position that we're creating to help continue the important work. And this is just the beginning. We hope to continue to build, continue to expand, strengthen our partnerships with our local organizations that are, again, doing the important work out there in the community. I do want to thank Patty Devine, City Councilor, for making it out today and being here with us today. Thank you, Patty. And thank you all once again for being part of this very exciting announcement, and looking forward to work with all of you and closing the gaps out there in the community and helping our people. Sheriff?
Thank you, Mayor. And I guess I'll open with the great Patty Devine from the city of Holyoke. But when we talk about helping people, it is a family approach. Well, I have the honor of employing her nephew, Pat Devine, who's one of our assistant deputy superintendents. It's in the blood, okay? When you talk about Holyoke, you talk about the entrenched traditions. It's what we believe is always been here. This building is something very special. Ramona Reno, I look up. She's been asking for this for 20-something years. That's a true story. AISS, All-Inclusive Support Services. It's about, as the mayor said, filling the gaps for the people who need support. Whether it's one mistake, 10 mistakes, it doesn't matter. It's about giving people an avenue and an opportunity to walk through a door, put their hand up and say, I need help. And then the people, the real stars of the opening of this day, is all behind the cameras. It's Chief Keenan and his staff at the Holyoke Police Department. It's the mayor and all of his staff and his cabinet here in the city of Springfield. It's probation chief, Sean McBride and his staff, for recommending and referring people and mandating them to come here to make sure that the right things are happening so their progression back to the law-abiding community are being attended to and worked for. And then it's the love of what I do, my staff. It's their everyday compassion, professionalism, and respect that they yield forth to the people of the great county of Hampden in Massachusetts. And I am the most blessed person. But because of today, people in the city of Holyoke, our HCAT team, 23% less fatal overdoses in the county since last year because of the work that everybody in this building does. And that should not go unnoticed. When I tell you budgets are tight now, right, Mayor? Budgets are tight. The state is in crisis. But if you think we're going to hide behind the the issue of there's no money so programs go away. We don't do it that way. We will continue to provide the service, we will continue to pick people up, we will continue to dust them off, and most importantly, with a building in a place like this, we will walk with them, hand on shoulder, every step of the way until they say they're good. And when they're good, what's that? Oh yeah, that's the radio. And when they're good, we'll take our hand off their shoulder, we're going to take one step back, and we're going to still walk with them. Because if they trip, we're going to be there to pick them up. And then I look over and I see Eddie Case. Eddie Case could be one of the most powerful human beings, not just in the city of Holyoke, but in Hampden County, the Commonwealth, in this country. Why? Because of his passion. Because of his love for the city of Holyoke, his love for the youth that are in this city, and his commitment and dedication to the men and the women that stand behind him. So I just want to, again, thank each and every one of you for your support. I want to thank my staff that are going to be working out of here on behalf of the citizens of Hampden County. But I also want to thank all the agency partners that we have. And Chief Keenan, I can't tell you, your progressive approach coming in from the city of Springfield to Holyoke, I have watched firsthand, and I will walk with you continuously. I'm so proud of your leadership. Not only from being the top cop in the city of Holyoke, but most importantly, your humanity, your compassion, and the way you see how you can help people. So with that, we have a winning recipe, folks. The chefs are here, but the ingredients are behind us and in front of us. So thank you for what you do. This is an exciting day, but most importantly, I promise you, let's get back here in a year. I just reported out HCAT statistics, 23% reduction in fatal overdoses. That's great, we're not nowhere near where we gotta be. But let's be back here in a year, and let's watch the crime rate go down in the city of Holyoke. But most importantly, let's watch the quality of life rise here in the city of Holyoke. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching.
Thank you so much, Sheriff. And shortly, when we're done, we're going to do a tour. This is the AISS space. It replicates the office that the sheriff has out on State Street in Springfield. Space where returning citizens coming out of prison, where they can go to get the appropriate counseling and get on a path forward as they build themselves up. You'll hear more about that.
Mayor, let me just say one more thing, and this is something mostly for the cameras because it's a soundbite. Why is this building so important? It has eliminated the transportation issues for people returning back to the city of Holyoke. They shouldn't have to get on a bus or get into a car to go to Springfield for services. That's why this building's so important, because now the transportation issues have been eliminated and the services are right here in the city.
So really, ideally, the services are out there. We're putting them into one roof. It's a hub that we're creating for it's a better community response for the people that need it. And again, we're going to tour this space. We have staff here that can answer all sorts of questions. And I really want you guys to see the next room over. That's where the Holyoke Police Department staff are located. That's the former Race Street team doing outreach work in our community. And really, I got to give credit to the person that puts fire under me almost every single day to make sure that I don't forget about the important work for our people, is Councilor Rivera, who just snuck in, by the way. He was on the agenda to say a few words, but I'll let him get his thoughts together. With that being said, I'll introduce now Chief Keenan.
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Mayor, Sheriff. I'm so happy to be here today, but there's a real name that didn't come up that has to be mentioned here, Ray Rivera.
Yes.
Ray Rivera is an employee of the Sheriff's Department. That's why this room looks like it was done by a top-notch painter, because it was. What Ray and his inmate crew do in the city of Holyoke, we could never pay for. The city of Springfield, they could never pay for, because they have something that that the sheriff spoke about with Eddie Case. You can't fake commitment, you can't fake passion. And to tell you the truth, in Eddie Case's case, you can't fake cool. You either are or you're not. You know, you're cool, Ed. But that's why this building looks like this, because of partnership and outreach. And Sheriff Cocchi seeing the importance of people when they come into programs, not coming into a busted up, lousy looking building. cleanliness, environment triggers behavior. We bring our clients to a nice clean place, our people work in a clean place, they act a little more refined. That stuff is so important. And the sheriff stole my thunder with the transportation components. I speak to people everywhere. I'm out all over the place. And so many folks, when they're down and out, we all have driver's licenses for the most part, right? In a car. You don't realize, in my situation, I can't drive today. You don't realize how important that driver's license is. For a guy getting out of state prison who lives on High Street, who's told he's got to go to State Street to get there, he can't think about getting a job. He can't think about getting to his kid's basketball game. He can't think about anything. He's worried about punching a ticket to get on a bus. And we're bringing the services to them, which is going to set people up to win. Everybody likes to see the guns. They like to see the drugs on the table. That's the sexy stuff of policing. But to me, like, what you don't see is what's important. The absence of crime, the absence of people getting arrested, the full parks, the families together. That's where we really count our wins. And we're doing that every day. If you come to this spot here, and you're from around the area, and this is where you go, there's AA meetings right next door all day long. People can get there. They can check in and do 2 birds with 1 stone. And when you don't have a car, that means something. And to my detectives in the outreach, the Ray Street team, they do phenomenal work. I've been through 1 million doors. They've been through 1 million alleys. And they've probably saved a lot more lives in alleys than we do going through doors. And the cooperation, the spirit of collaboration is what really makes this thing work. Nobody can do it themselves in 2025. It takes a team approach to raise everybody up. It's the sheriff, it's the police, it's the hospital, it's BSN, it's the churches, it's the families, it's the basketball teams, it's the coaching. All of that stuff matters. And I'm going to wrap this up quick, but everyone in this room who's here, what you do matters. You might not know it. You might pick up the phone 50 times and work with 50 people. It's that one guy. It's when you see some guy at the mall with his kid that you know is incarcerated. He's got the 2-hour visitation with the kid. And everything that we do facilitates that stuff, and that's the important stuff. We're saving lives here, 100%. And we went to a conference in Florida, and they talked about that stuff. And I'll put our program up against any one of them. Because we don't do things halfway here. We were in it to win it, and I'm convinced we can beat 23%. Convinced. Convinced, because we're here now. And the folks aren't on the buses. Today's a big win. Enjoy the building. For everyone who took part of this, thank you so much. And the great work you do will be reflected in the families of the inmates and the people we help. And thank you.
Councilor Rivera.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I guess for me, formerly incarcerated, one of the goals while on the council and doing a lot of the work that I do is to make sure that we're represented in the spaces that we're supposed to be in. So real quick, how many people here are formerly incarcerated? Can you raise your hand? My partner. So that's part of the problem, right? Like, there's only 2 of us in a full space where we're building something out for the people that are to be served. So for me, reason why I'm always on Josh about this kind of stuff is to make sure that we're being represented in the spaces and that we're able to step into spaces and feel like we can take advantage of the stuff. Not to say that you can't, because you can, but it's just different when you're coming in. Even now, I don't feel uncomfortable. I'm doing better, but still, it's uncomfortable to be in a space where you know that at one time you were incarcerated, not necessarily by the people, but by the system. So for me, it's important that here in this space, it's not just for incarcerated individuals, for people to understand, that it's re-entry just in general, for anyone that wants to re-enter society and come back to Holyoke. You could be dealing with substance abuse issues, you could come back from deployment if that's the issue. Whatever one it is, the goal, because this is actually my capstone project for my master's program, but it's actually happening, which is cool, right? Not a lot of people actually have their capstones actually happen. This is actually happening. So for me, it's important that we come together as a community, not just the Sheriff's Department, not just the Police Department, but also BHN, Gandaras, and all the other service providers in the region to work together and build a cohesive unit, a one-stop shop that actually allows people to come in, get all the services that they need from this particular spot, and everything else is near us. So it makes it a lot easier for you to just hop, skip, and jump, go to Holyoke Health Center, go get your Social Security card, go get your birth certificate at City Hall if you're from Holyoke. Everything is close by. Hopefully, AISS still has the access to the registry so that you can just walk right in and skip everybody and get your ID. Like they did for me back then. If they do, that's great. If they don't have it anymore, you need to get that contact back because that is a valuable contact. But ultimately, this is the goal here. The goal here is to bring everyone together and to bring us, and when I say us, I say the demographic of the incarcerated along with us throughout the ride, so that way they're helping us build a lot of this out. Thank you guys, and thank you for your
That's actually a really good segue, and I'm going to introduce Alicia. And earlier we talked about the Community Response Division. Right now, yes, there's a focus. Folks returning back into society and out of prison, people who are struggling with addiction, people who are unhoused and dealing with issues around homelessness. We are looking to expand and build upon that, and you're going to hear from Alicia, some sort of community response liaison. We want, my office, we get calls all the time from people, all sorts of quality of life issues going on in their neighborhoods that can potentially lead to displacement, whether if it's an issue with their landlord, around tenant protection rights and issues, if it's not feeling safe in their neighborhood because of what might be going on outside of their building or when they're looking out their window. It could be neighbor disputes. We get the calls. And so the idea here is to create a system, you heard Councilor Rivera say, a community response system that allows folks to work together and communicate so that we can share information and bring the information where it's needed so that the appropriate people are responding. Whether if it's an organization that's doing the community level work, dealing with landlords, or if it's BHN, CHD, helping folks navigate housing issues, struggling with addiction, whatever the case. Or maybe it's just simply connecting with the building department or the Board of Health. A system here that allows for these folks that are going to be working here to receive the information and then deploy a response that will help close that gap and keep our community safe and improve the quality of life. So with that being said, now I'm going to really introduce our Director of Community Development, Alicia Zoeller, talk a little bit about the position.
Good morning, everyone. I feel like the mayor somehow saw the notes on my iPhone before. I'm thrilled to be here. I feel like today's announcement from the mayor's office in conjunction with the Office for Community Development is a long time coming and is a key example of what we do here in the city of Holyoke, and that is respond to needs. We do it every day, whether it's micro needs, somebody needs a food share, whether it's a couple of weeks ago we had a homeless family with 2 small children in the mayor's office with literally nowhere to go on a Friday afternoon. Whether it's housing instability, we know that rental assistance is going to be decreasing, and that's quite concerning to us. The number of unsheltered individuals that was counted on the streets of Holyoke at the point in time count in January was the highest that we'd ever seen. I believe it was over 80 unsheltered individuals. We know that we need to have a system here within city government to respond to these calls. Stephen Fay from the mayor's office is here this morning. He is the yeoman of community service. He takes those calls, fields the calls from folks that are literally homeless, literally have no food in the pantry. We have a lot of elderly living in owner-occupied housing, and that housing is collapsing around them due to their health needs, their inability to do upkeep. By creating this new position called a community response advocate, we're hoping that there'll be a single point of contact in the city that all of these calls that come in on a daily basis can be funneled to one person in the Office for Community Development to triage those calls and make sure that people are connected to the services that they need. We know that there's plenty of services here in the city of Holyoke. We have great partners that we work with, whether it's BHN or CHD or Enlace. We know every single day there's folks that we call on when we have a crisis come into City Hall. But what we don't have in City Hall is a point of contact, a single person that can kind of follow those cases through. So the creation of the Community Response Advocate will be specifically to address issues of community response, housing instability, and the opioid crisis. The position will be funded with two pools of funds at this point in time. The first one will be our home ARP funds, which were a specific allocation from HUD to be used for housing instability and homelessness. And then the second pool of funds that we'll be using for this position are the opioid response funds. So part of this position will also be working to ensure that those opioid funds that the city received through the legal settlements are implemented in the community, that we're working with our community partners to make sure those funds are being used to the maximum benefit. In terms of the housing and homelessness, we're really concerned. The changes at both the state and federal level have a lot of the responsibilities for housing, shelter, services being pushed down to the local level. And at this point, we feel like not just opening this building today, but also implementing this new position will position us moving forward as those sort of services get pushed down to our desks. So thank you again for everyone for being here, for the mayor, for his leadership on this amazing project, and look for the job posting shortly.
The room that you're in is just one small piece of a suite of offices, so please make sure you go ask questions, but before you do and you have any particular questions for the people behind me, anyone wants to go first? WIMC 22, Holyoke Media. We're good?
I think we're good.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. See the space, talk, have conversations, let's get to work.